Hi, my name is Tammy. I am a human being, and in today's AccuQuilt translation video, I'm going to show you how I used my 6-inch Go Cute Mix and Match box set, dies 1, die 3, and die 4 to create this Prairie Crossroad quilt block. Stay tuned. Here are the fabrics and the dies that I'll be using to make this Prairie Crossroads quilt block. I'm using my 6-inch Go Cute Mix and Match box set, and I'm using shape number 1 or die number 1, which is a square. I'm using die number 3, which is the half square triangle die. And I'm using shape number 5, which is also a half square triangle die, but just a smaller shape than shape number 3. This is my inspiration fabric, and it is a combination of tie-dye paw prints from a dog and hearts. So in addition to being inspired by this tie-dye paw and heart print fabric, I've been spending a lot of time on Google today, and I'm just going to use Google's colors. They're primary, they're basic, and I think they're pretty beautiful, and they match fairly well with this fabric. So stay tuned, and I'll show you what all of the pieces look like cut out for this Prairie Crossroads quilt block. Here are all the pieces for the Prairie Crossroads quilt block cut out. I need to make a major correction. I am actually using shape number or die number 4, which is the quarter square triangle, and that is how I'm making these pieces. I'm using shape number 3, which is the traditional half square triangle die, and I'm using shape number 1, which is the square die. What I'm going to do next is take these elements to this quilt block, put them together or sew them together into units, and then show you what those look like. Stay tuned. I've pieced together the half square triangle elements that I cut out using shape number or die number 3 to make these units here. And I've also pieced together the elements I cut out using shape number 4 or die number 4, which is the quarter square triangle. So what I have left are some half square triangles, these units of quarter square triangles that I've sewn together to make a half square triangle. And the next step is to assemble the colors in the orientation that they will go to make the segments of this block. Stay tuned and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, my quilting buddy, we have entered into the next phase of constructing this Prairie Crossroads quilt block. The trickiest part of this block is making sure that you rotate your half square triangle units and your half square and quarter square triangle units appropriately. So let me point out what I mean. You see here how at the end when this is completed that we'll have a green strip going this way, a yellow strip going this way, a blue strip coming here, and a red strip going that way to create the quote-unquote crossroads. So if you are not very careful about how you rotate these units, you'll come out with a hot mess. Let me tell you, because I had to redo a few of these myself. So what I'm going to do is typically I like to chain piece all of my units together, but because I want to make sure that I do not have to unstitch any of these units, I'm going to piece by piece or unit by unit connect them together and then connect these two together like that. And then I'll have like half here and half there, and then I will sew these two halves together to complete the block. So stay tuned and I'll show you what that looks like. Hey, 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 my quilting buddy. The Prairie Crossroads quilt block is all completed. It ended up being 12 inches by 12 inches. And as you can see, all of the crossroads are crossing perfectly, meeting here in the center. This quilt block is comprised of, I would say, 16 different units and 4 quadrants. So this is quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4. And each quadrant is comprised of 4 different units. I really like the way this block came out. It looks very cheerful and happy, and it took a lot of patience to complete this block because typically I like to just chain piece as much as possible, but what was happening was as I went to Luigi, my sewing machine, my Singer Featherweight, I was rotating all the half square triangles and it just became a hot mess. So if you're going to make this block, just be patient. Don't get so wound up in chain piecing to get it done fast. It is definitely an enjoyable block to make. It's very challenging and peaceful at the same time. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Thank you for joining me today in the Prairie Crossroads quilt block translation. I will see you in the next video. Until then, cheers.